Welcome back to episode 8 of King's Court. Uh, it's been a little bit. We'll get to that, but we'll make the rounds
Yeah.
here. I am, of course, Brennan, and joining me is Nick
It's been a while.
and Jordan.
It sure has been a
And
while.
we have a special guest today who is going to be the producer of our Brain Damage Per Second shitpost series, Howa. As you can tell,
You can see why he got the job.
yeah, as you can tell, he is not the producer of the series. He is the producer of the Brain Damage. So, take that how you will, audience. It's been 3 weeks since we recorded one of these, and a lot's happened. Do you guys want me to start? Because I'm just going to clear up the red tape from the channel perspective. Okay.
I don't know.
Or you're
what
at least
you're
obligated to
talking about,
point
so
out
I
who
feel like I'm
starts.
less qualified to
All right.
talk about this.
I'll bring it out. Caleb is still with us. I just want to broach that for anyone who might be listening that's confused.
Addressing the elephant in the room.
Yeah. He's still with us, but I have had to pick up editing and delegate more editing to, say Howa. Yeah, he's still here. He's gonna come back. It's just an interesting time, and I will not go into it in his stead because that's his business and not mine. And I don't know how much he wants to share, but in the interim, I have thus picked up editing, and I'm in charge of everything now, apparently.
Oh, you know who to blame, Buell.
Yeah, blame me. So,
Surprise promotion.
yeah, other than these, other than the podcasts that are going to still try to be coming out on a weekly basis from now on, starting with this week, that episode 7 just dropped today. From now on, the podcast will still be coming out weekly, but there's going to be a larger lull in content because we're going with a different strategy. We're going to be going with a backlog of content, which means exactly what a backlog says. I'm just going to be pumping up content into a backlog. I'm going for about 2 months worth of my own stuff. And once that happens, I'll start sending it out. And that'll be about 2 videos a week consistently, along with whatever else I happen to feel like uploading. Say Skyward Sword or anything else that I happen to get into with projects. So it's going to be a way out from Jordan and I, and of course the Brain Damage Per Second series from Howa and I, which is essentially just going to be what you think it is. Howa introduced himself like that, and that's what you can expect from the whole thing. Also expect couples therapy from Nick and I, because we're going to be doing that.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a weird one.
So, yeah, I haven't seen anything of this game. I'm going in completely blind. That's the point. But essentially, you can look forward to couples therapy videos on Mondays, because that's when we're going to be dropping those. I'm going to try and alternate it so that it's 4 episodes of one and then 4 episodes of the other. That way we get a nice balance. If I feel like that's not good enough, we can do 1 week on, like 1 week, 1 week, or 2 weeks, 2 weeks. It's whatever. Right now we're starting with 4, and 4. So we'll see how that pans out. And then Wednesday, of course, like I said, will be the shitpost series. So look forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to that one.
And then, of course, these podcasts will be Friday. I forgot to say that. But that's...
The podcast's on Friday. Podcast's on Friday.
That is
Got the singing bug today.
That is the red
Maybe
tape
we
that
really
I've
should have
got.
been ended in 2012. Sometimes I genuinely believe this. The minds should have been right.
The Mayans were right. I mean,
The world did end.
As far as I'm concerned.
We are just suffering now.
Have you paid attention to the news at any point in time in the last 10 years? Life's the
To the
world
benefit
sucks
of my
a
health,
lot of time.
no, I have not.
Don't start now.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it.
All right, so yeah, that's my red tape. other than personal stuff that we can all get into. So how's y'all's 3 weeks been?
A blur.
Mine has been mostly like working and stuff. Although, when I thought we were doing podcasts regularly, I've had a nugget sitting in the back of my head this entire time, and I've been meaning to share it, but I never wanted to share it while we were like hanging out, so I didn't want to like ruin the potency.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
bit.
You didn't want to water it down.
Yeah. So
Once those juices fresh.
exactly.
Indeed.
For those who don't know, I work in a grocery store, so you get all sorts of wacky, zany people.
Oh yeah,
You know,
you do.
like-
I used to work at a grocery store.
Exactly, like all of like, it's just a weird place to be sometimes. And there was 2 instances in the same night of crackhead energy, like
Oh
pure
god.
refined crackhead energy. So, I was brought to the attention of a man who was hanging out in like the produce sort of section, and my coworker looks at me. He's like, "Check out this dude with a baby mask on right now." And have you ever played like Payday 2?
I'm
Right, like
familiar.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
like the masks that they kind of wear,
Yeah.
like
Not
when
sure
they
Yeah.
rob the
what's going.
banks.
Yes.
This guy had one of those, but it was like a giant, blown up, like cardboard cutout of a baby's face.
What?
There's a horror movie about that. The Good Day to Both Die.
Oh,
Happy Death Day.
Happy Death
Death
Day.
Day?
Yeah,
Yeah, something
Good
like
day
that.
to birth die.
yeah. Good day to
Yeah.
birth die. Listen,
Yeah.
By
Nick.
Hideo Kojima.
By Hideo Kojima. Die birth man.
Die
But
Bothman. Yeah, exactly.
This guy wearing this baby mask is like stuffing shit into his backpack, right? And
Okay.
Open theft. 5-finger
obviously-
discount.
yeah, exactly. And we openly, as employees, cannot pursue thieves and stuff like that.
No, you can't. It's actually so funny how unable you are to do.
Yeah,
there's
like,
nothing you can do. If you can, people can
100%.
steal in front of you. That's it. They steal in front of you.
Yeah,
They
100%.
just did that.
And
You
that's
just
all
can't
you
do
can
anything. Yep.
And the police response in this city doesn't even exist.
No.
So, so this guy is like screaming at himself while he's putting shit into his backpack, right? And then, he like disappears like fucking Batman. Like we don't know where he went. Like after a second, like I was talking to my coworker, looking right at him, and then we go
I
look
don't
back
know
to where this guy was.
I mean, this guy sounds like a hero, is what he sounds like. But go on.
This guy's something. I'm not sure if I'd ever call him a hero, but I mean,
Well,
like,
I don't know. What we need more details. What exactly?
Fair,
else
fair.
happened?
And then we caught back up with him, but he was in the basically the like the family preparation section, like all the diapers and like the baby
okay,
stuff.
yeah.
Right? And this guy pulls out like a box of like diapers and makes his way up to the front. We've told our supervisor this, and he's waiting at the front for this guy. And we're
Oh, so
our-
what was he looking
the
to
way
buy
we-
something so that it would look inconspicuous?
I think so, but that's not what ended up happening. Because our job is to corral him to the front to be
Yeah.
talked to by our supervisor.
To be trapped, yes.
So
You
he
entrap the
willingly
man.
walks up to the supervisor, hands him the box of diapers, and says, "Mommy's gonna be mad at me," and fucking books it out the door.
What?
That's genius.
That's what?
How's genius?
What?
In what way?
But the thing is, the doorway that he was in front of wasn't the door he went out. So we have an employee door right next.
Oh, one of those. Okay.
Right next to the exit. So he goes out the real exit. So my supervisor like cuts him off by just going out the employee door
Yeah.
and tells him to empty out his bag, and he does, and whatever.
Mommy's
And he's
gonna
like,
be
"Oh, like,
upset
I
at
could-
me.
I could have a gun or whatever, and my supervisor's like, "Yeah, well, I do have a gun." And this guy
That's
fucking
oh
runs
my
away.
god. Your supervisor's
like-
such a Chad.
And I was like,
So
"Do you have
fully
a gun?" And he's like,
unnecessary.
"Yeah, at my
I don't
house.
think you
It's a
need to
hunting
threaten a guy
rifle
with
at
a
my
gun."
house."
It's like, oh
But
yeah,
this guy
well I
thought he
do
was
have a
hacking
gun, and he was
audio.
like, what?
But if I hadn't known any better, I would have thought like these two crackhead energy incidences were one and the same. So that night it was crazy. So we were like talking about it. We're like, whoa, this is kind of nuts. Weird shit happens here at the store. Blah blah blah.
Weird shit happening at the store today.
Yeah. So that was around like 8:30. So our store closes at 9. So around 9 o'clock, a different coworker is like, hey, there's somebody like locked in the bathroom right now. Like,
Oh
and
God,
I don't know how long they've been there,
Mommy
but I
was
think
mad
it's
at
been there
him.
for
God.
hours. And so the store closes, and we're trying to get this guy out. Like, come on, man, the store's closed.
Get out.
Whatever, like, get
Leave.
out, please. And nothing happens. So my supervisors tells me to watch the door. So I watch the door,
Oh boy.
and nothing happens. All of a sudden, the key holder of my store comes barreling right past me and tries to open the door using the keys. And this guy's like, I'm in here, blah, 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 I'm in here.
Jesus Christ.
And she's like, I don't give a shit. The store is closed. Get out or we're calling the police.
I don't give a
What?
shit. Get out.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
so-
some shit that ain't my fucking problem.
Yeah, no shit. So she gets him out.
Yo,
and this guy's
I'm
like,
sorry, I gotta stop. Cora's
Uh.
playing Apex right now, and she just dropped into an area called Zavala's Crossing.
tough.
Dead ass. Guardian.
Zavala crossed
Guardian.
out. Guardian. He
Let
broke
me
my
hit that
fucking
gritty.
ankles. Anyway,
I'm very sorry for interrupting the crackhead story, but I saw Zavala on her
fine.
screen and my fucking neuron activated.
That ain't the crackhead. That's just the average customer that you find in customer service.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Well, for the south
so-
end of our city, yeah.
I worked in customer service.
Our key holder ends up getting this guy out, and he's fucking like just I don't know, limping.
Did he
he's,
come
like,
out with his
fucking-
pants on the ground?
No,
Oh.
like his hair was all like matted and fucking
Sounds so
gross.
disappointed, Brennan.
Blood
been
was
funny.
oozing down his arm. Fucking. So he's out, and we go into the bathroom to see what the fuck was happening.
There are
We see
needles
this
in
guy's
there?
fucking like hair, blood, and the needle cap, like off of like a heroin needle,
Oh!
just all on the floor.
Do you think he
I'm
walked
like-
out with the needle in him still?
No, I don't think so. I didn't look, but I'm sure I would have noticed if that happened. But I was like, what a fucking night. And then that night, I went and
Jesus
I
Christ.
messaged you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
messaged you on Discord and pinned the message. I was like, "Yo,
Oh,
man,
that's what the pin was.
I know
Okay.
that's out of context, but that was out of context, but I need to remember this.
Jesus Christ.
to remember this.
A core memory.
Like, jeez.
Holy shit.
Yup. What a night.
That's some
like,
South
all, like,
End shit right there.
And all like the teenage girls working with us, we had to fucking be like all the guys like stayed behind. We were like,
Mhm.
make sure you guys like get rides home. Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
fucking
like-
weirdos out.
Just fucking, they're out, the weirdos. They've escaped.
Oh, yoy.
Nick, before I go, how's your week been? Or how's your 3 weeks been?
I have also been walking, but not at a grocery store. I have a real job.
Whoa.
Got him. Fucking destroyed.
No, I've walked at a grocery store. I know the pain. I know the suffering. I don't think I had anything quite as bad as those stories. My most exciting grocery store day was when part of the ceiling broke apart and started leaking.
Ugh.
Oh.
So there was just a giant hole in the ceiling for like a while. It was great.
Nice.
Remember when
But
that
no,
happened?
I started a
Yeah.
more intensive job, so I've been busy these last 3 weeks.
Well, it's good to be busy. Well,
Yeah. Keeps you not
not
being
too
bored.
not too busy. Cora and I went to Niagara Falls. That's the most interesting thing, other than similarly working, but with no special qualities. There wasn't really anything. I install garage doors. Half the time I'm working with like one person, and they're my coworker, and that's it.
Yeah, well.
But Niagara Falls was pretty nice. The hotel was. I'd give it the
Was
3 stars that it was ranked on the site we booked it from. But I'm also not the one who chose it. I let Cora choose it because it was her birthday. Yeah, we went for her birthday. It was very fun. We went on the Sky Wheel, and it was less than ideal because it was fog. It was humid earlier that day, and it had rained. So all of the glass was fogged from the outside.
You mean it
Oh, so
was
you didn't
at
even see
Niagara
anything.
Falls?
Yeah,
It was the
So-
conditions of which Niagara Falls happens.
yeah, exactly. It was. Well, you could see it, but like if you wanted to take some cool pictures, fuck you.
Oh,
So that was
Hmm.
fun. We have Americans in this server and channel, one of which Howa is. And I definitely made sure to take a picture of their cringe ass falls and send it to them, and then take a picture of the like
Our Alpha
iconically Chad the hungry and powerful and driven the horseshoe falls, the real Niagara Falls, and send that shit to them to make them feel bad.
Yeah.
It was fun. We got like 2 fun passes, and we spent the whole weekend doing that. It was a good time. I like it. And I'm going back next weekend with her family.
Damn. Going-
Because they also wanted to go, but they graciously did not go when I was taking her for her birthday. They decided the 3rd week after we would go back again, and it's about to be that. So, yay.
That's
Now,
all right.
My
the
wallet
important
is not as
question-
happy as I sound about that, by the way. My wallet is
Hold
very
on,
much
I
not
have an
okay with
important
this.
question for you in
Yeah, yeah.
regards to the activities
Go nuts.
of your trip. Did you go and do the only thing that you need to do when you go to Niagara Falls?
If you're talking about, by the way, I have a grievance with this too. Thank you for bringing it up. If you're speaking of
I'm
Maid of
almost
the
certain that
Mist,
you're not going to talk about the same thing I'm talking about, by the way, but go on.
so not Maid of the Mist.
No.
What were you gonna say?
But honestly, you got to go to the Hershey store and you got to buy the giant Hershey chocolate bar.
We did go to the Hershey store, but we did not buy the giant Hershey chocolate bar.
Shame. You got to do it.
I'll
You
do
got to
it.
do it. You just got to.
I'll do it this next time because I won't be paying for
Good.
everything. We went to the Rainforest Cafe. That was cool. We got some sick ass cups. Like they gave like part of the alcoholic drinks. They were like $5 for a cup, and we were both like, yeah, fuck it. We're probably not gonna come back when we come here again. Like we're probably never gonna come to the Rainforest Cafe again, cause like it was restaurant food. I'll be completely honest. It's cool to go once and like see it and eat in it. Uh, but like I can just buy a Little Caesars pizza and the same result. I stop being hungry. You guys know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, but so
True.
we're like, we'll both get the cups. They're like pretty hefty cups. The ones we ended up getting. They're like tiki style engraved in the glass, but it's like pretty heavy cup. It's really well made. I was impressed because I was like, oh, these cups are gonna be like cool, but they're gonna break immediately, aren't they? Because that's how these things usually go. But we got some really nice cups.
That's all right.
Years ago, Maid of the Mist. I always called it Maiden of the Mist because that's what I thought it was called. But Cora corrected me on that. It's Maid of the Mist. We sold it to the States. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
What? I don't even know what that is.
So
It's a
I've never-
boat that you
it's
go on.
it's a topless ferry boat that takes you around the horseshoe where all the mist is. They give you a poncho. It's like a 10-minute boat ride.
I see.
I went in as a kid, but so we sold it to the States. And do any of you know the name?
I used to. I do
No.
know.
Because
But
it's not called Maid of the Mist anymore. The American one is. Ours is called Hornblower.
right.
Hornblower. Well,
all I
they
have
really
to really
sold
say
the
to that
bag.
is, oh, say, can you see?
All right, y'all won that
Another-
one.
So,
I will invade America just to get Maid of the Mist back.
Oh,
personally.
okay.
There's a bridge in Niagara Falls, motherfucker. It'll be
There
easy.
Quick cut. I gotta step away for a sec.
Oh, we can keep
I
going.
don't know if you want to keep going
No,
without me. but
we'll keep going. Yeah, so just to voice my discontent, Hornblower,
Hornblower.
like
That's bad.
for a place like Niagara Falls, one of the 7 wonders of the modern world, you can't make it a better name than Hornblower. Like, I get selling it to the
Yikes.
States. I get that. It probably would cost a ton of money.
Did we like swap them?
Yes, I think
Like,
we
if
swapped
it-
them.
So the states named it something dumb.
Yeah, and then
gave it to
and
us.
then there was an exchange. Yeah,
Man.
they've long conned us. That I take that as the revenge for us burning down the White House in the War of 1812. I'm gonna put
It's
that
the
out there
long-
right now. It's the long con.
The long con been going on
100
for like 200,
Yeah,
300 years.
100%.
I remember,
But,
speaking of,
Yeah, I found that
200
out.
years
I was
ago.
so fucking angry. I was like, really? That's what the name is? No, I was erroneously upset. I always liked Maid of the Mist. It's such a name, right? It's like the perfect name for what it is.
yeah. Because that's what it is.
Exactly. And now
Well,
it's
certainly not a
Hornblower.
hornblower.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can be a hornblower.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be a
Like-
Maid of the Mist. Anyway, you're saying, Jordan?
Just thinking about like 300 years ago, when I was around.
Reminiscing?
300
Yeah,
years ago. No, an early memory of mine. I was in the 4th grade, and I was talking about something like 100 years ago or something, and my teacher was like, "Oh, do you know, like 100 years ago, like that's when like the pioneers were around?" And
What?
I was thinking to myself, like, "Oh, that makes sense, right?" As like a 8-year-old child,
Yeah.
or however
Well,
old
yeah,
I was in
as-
the 4th grade.
Yeah, when you're 8 years old, that makes sense.
Yeah, but
That was fucking World Wars. That was World
Yeah.
War 1 and 2, dog.
yeah, and then I kind of just put it to like, I just remembered that just now and did all the math just now, puzzled it together, and now I'm retroactively pissed at the modern education system.
God, your teacher really
What
said
kind
that
of
to you.
lies are you? It was to perpetuate the social studies lesson at the time.
Oh.
We were doing like shit about the pioneers,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, that was like 100 years ago." I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." And then come to find out, like in 9th grade, it was like, yeah,
Just like in
100
the
years ago.
1700s.
Yeah, like 2014 or whatever. It's like 100 years ago today, we waged war for the first time, like the World War.
Yeah, the World War. And you were like,
I was like,
yo, so my teacher fucking what?
yeah, wait a minute. So you're telling me like, you're telling me like 5 years ago?
You went back and
100
just
years
beat up
from
that
then?
teacher. Yeah. Oh, man.
We were
Alright.
just settling
Yeah,
on this, along this land?
yeah. And we immediately got into a world war in Europe.
Ugh.
Nick, I don't know how
Anyway,
much
yeah,
you
that was
heard,
my
but Jordan got fucking conned by his 4th grade teacher.
Okay.
And
Dude,
so
telling
I'll,
me that in 2008, fucking 100 years from then was pioneer times.
which is incorrect for anyone who might be listening and might not know when the pioneer times
No.
were.
100 years from then was like, gosh, I'm not good at
It was
history.
it was
but
about to be
that-
World War 100 years ago
Heroin
from
for
then.
medicine times.
Yeah.
Drugs and soda times.
Around the
yeah,
time of the
no,
first
I think we're still
around
too
the
far.
time of the first car, was it not?
Yeah.
Probably,
Like-
Yeah.
Like,
The
I
pioneers had motorized vehicles. Let that sink in.
What the fuck does
That's-
on
yeah.
that?
That's not.
The Industrial Revolution is what pioneerism is.
Yeah.
we were talking about the early settlers that made like teepees and
Yeah.
shit in the wilderness, like.
Well,
But no, actually,
all right,
the
Hallam.
pioneers had
I,
fucking smartphones.
I guess we're on you. What funny stories you got in the last couple weeks,
So
or
I'm assuming
at
viewers
all?
don't know. I work at a pet lodge, right? Now,
Yeah, they've been
when you
told
work at a
nothing
pet
about you.
lodge,
This is the first time they're meeting you.
so I work at a pet lodge, right? So people will bring their dogs in, drop them off, whether it be for daycare, so drop them off early in the morning, then come pick them up later in the day, or they'll leave them for a little bit longer, like maybe a few days, a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a few months. Uh,
Jesus Christ.
Point of having a pet
A
then.
few months?
I question that myself sometimes. Anyways, right?
A
There's
few
some
Bad
dogs
months?
pet owners. That's just
we're gonna
a
we're gonna
thing.
graze past that. There's some dogs there where it's like we look forward to having them there because we fucking love them, right? I don't work a ton with the dogs, but a lot of times in the morning I'll come to just sort of help bring them to the back, sort them, put their name on the board, all that shit. Uh, but with the dogs, you kind of learn like, man, people are fucking stupid.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes.
people been stupid.
Like people don't know how, they have no fucking concept of how to like raise a dog, train a dog. People think you gotta raise a dog like you raise a kid. You don't.
Woof.
A dog is a dog is not a kid. They don't understand like because
They don't know
people will come in, right?
words. They have
Have
to
their
learn the
dogs.
words.
People will come with their dogs. Some people will just be completely fucking oblivious. We have a sign up front that says, "Hey, dogs must be on a leash in the store at all times," and they'll just let their dog in, not on a leash, or they'll have one of those like extendo leashes, and then just not at all,
Not
like not
rein
bother
in their
restricting
dog.
movement. So they'll like go to the other end of the fucking store while still on the leash, but just not being restricted at all, not holding them back. So the dog's just free essentially. It's not really on a leash. It's just like it's essentially just a guideline of this is where the dog is, by the way. It's like
Jesus
motherfucker.
Christ.
And then there's the names, right?
Oh
So
boy.
let me give you an example. My
Yeah,
dad,
hit us with
I
it.
wasn't with work at him on this day. I wasn't
You
with
what?
him at work.
You weren't with work at him?
Fucking words are difficult, man. Don't make fun of me. I got issues.
This is why he's
So-
the brain damage producer.
I
If you
wasn't-
needed any more proof.
I wasn't working this day, right? But my dad was. So these guys come in. He assumed they were, a gay couple. Fucking whatever. Not really relevant. Just an observation he made. But they're like, we're here to pick up Basel. And he's like,
Huh?
subconsciously he's like, what the fuck? Basel? What the fuck? So he's like looking at the list of dogs, trying to find like Bozzle, Bozal, like something like that. And he's looking through the names. He's like, I don't see a Basel. He's like, how do you spell it? And they're like, Basil. And he's like,
Oh dear God.
you mean basil? And they're like, well, yeah, but we pronounce it Basel. And it's like, why do you pronounce it Basel? What is the reason behind pronouncing it as Basel instead of just calling
His
it
name
fucking
is
Basil?
Basil.
Pussy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean like maybe if they came in with an accent,
If you don't
then it
believe
would
me,
be
his name
like
is
I-
Basil.
As far as I
Actually,
know, no accent.
appreciate the spelling stump award normally, but pronouncing it completely incorrectly. But like when you're trying to communicate with another person, that in like a legitimate way, that's not a good idea. It's a good
yeah,
joke. It's not a
dog. My
good
name is
idea.
Ashley.
God. Oh yeah, and then there's the people that overfeed their dogs, and I don't mean like
Oh boy, here
oh,
we go.
just a few pounds overweight. I mean like fucking cylindrical. Okay,
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
3 dogs. Sorry, 3 dogs that stick out that I know of that are fucking way too fat. Number one. Number 1. First dog. His name is Branson.
He sounds
This
like he's
dog-
got some chunk on him.
This dog is so fucking fat, such a chunky monkey.
I think I
that
would punch out
his
a
owner-
person if their name was that.
His owner, it's like this fucking old woman, right?
Oh, that makes sense.
She literally has food in the fucking car in case he gets hungry on the way to the pet lodge. It's like
Like
not nearly
like
that long of a ride.
like human food.
Not human food, but she
Okay.
does.
That's
No,
there are some
bag,
people who
not
leave,
bag
like,
of
human
meat. That's
food.
up to you, bud.
There's this one woman who fucking leaves like scrambled eggs and bacon for her dog, and it's like, got
What
it.
the fuck?
like-
no,
What the fuck?
no.
It's a German Shepherd too, and she's like,
Gotta get that protein.
German
What
Shepherds
the
are pretty much
fuck?
every single German Shepherd that we get there is like fucking weird, or they're a yellow collar, which at work means they're not allowed to interact with other dogs. That might mean they fucking will attack the shit out of any dog that isn't themselves,
That's based, honestly.
or they're a serial
Yo,
humper.
y'all.
No, that's based. That's based.
It's not. There's one dog named Gabriel, and he literally can't be in the same fucking yard as the dog, like his sister, right? Because he will try to hump
Ugh.
his sister.
Sweet home Alabama.
That
Yeah,
is
what
not
state are you
based.
in?
That is a fucking problem. But anyways, right? Fat dogs. Other dogs named Gus. You have no idea
Gus?
how many. You have no idea how many people name their dog fucking Gus, right?
I have a friend
We've
named
got-
Gus.
We've got baby Gus. He's not a baby anymore. He's just shaped like it, even though he's technically a full-grown adult dog. His head is shaped all fucked up. Like, it's too long. He's just a lab. But this other Gus, right? Just normal Gus, that I haven't seen until recently, fucking fat as shit. Like, chunky monkey. That funky monkey. Just, why? Like, it's not hard. Just 2 cups of food a day. 1 in the morning, 1 at night. That's all you need. It's not that hard. But these people will just, like,
Yeah.
Like, they're like, yeah, anytime he does something bad, I give him a treat to get him to stop. It's like,
What?
no!
How's that teaching you one?
What?
Like, that's the opposite of helping.
What?
Huh?
Huh?
And then the third dog, which I just saw today, was Rex. And he's
Now
just
that's a fucking dog
looks
name.
similar.
It's a dog name. I have a friend who has that.
He
A
looks
dog
similar to
that name.
Branson, and he's just as fat. It's like, it's not hard to feed your dog properly. Just don't. Just if they're getting
Yeah.
big, be like, maybe we should cut back. Maybe we should look up
Or
on
walk
Google,
'em.
How much should I feed your
Yeah.
dog?
Take
Or
him around the
walk 'em a little
fucking
bit,
block
maybe.
every so often.
And here's the thing: we fucking they've gotta overfeed the shit out of their dogs, especially if they're like frequent there, because the fucking back staff who actually work with the dogs, they will take the dogs out. Like, each dog gets out at least 9 times a day.
Fair.
And it's like 15, 20-minute intervals. So it's like, we give them plenty of exercise. It's purely a skill issue on the owner's part.
Oh yeah, duh.
Undoubtedly, they're bringing them to professionals.
My dad has a rule for like somebody who names their dog. If the dog's name is Luna, right? Luna, Luna. It means one of 2 things. 1, the owner is fucking batshit. Or 2, the dog is batshit or a shithead. Like, there has been no exception ever at any point. Because it's just a batshit name to give your dog.
Yeah. No, I agree.
True.
I'm with it.
Without fail. But I don't know, it's stressful because it's like, I want to berate the shit out of you, but I can't because I'm already socially inept and I don't know how to socially, like, publicly berate somebody. Also,
Without,
I don't
like-
want to. Also, I'm not allowed to.
That's fair.
Without them being like, "Oh yeah, buddy," and then they get you back and you get embarrassed. It's
That happened to you?
they're-
That happened to you a lot, buddy?
me. No, I'm different.
Oh, okay.
They're-
You just built different. All right.
There are good dogs there too. There's one named Champ. He's this fucking
That's a
golden
fucking.
retriever. And
That's a
he's like,
fucking dog name.
he is the most picture perfect golden retriever that you will ever see in your life. Like, big blocky head, just fucking huge dog, like easily 100 pounds or more. But he's not fat. He's just fluffy as shit, and he's
Oh, he's got the trademark doggy fluff.
like, he's a fucking boy. And then what else? What are the
Damn, boy,
dogs?
this thick ass boy.
Yeah, boy.
We talk about the yellow collar dogs. So
Okay,
A
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
times
Okay,
it'll be like,
so bring on more of that. So it's dogs that aren't allowed to be around other dogs.
yes, there are sometimes exceptions where there'll be so it'll be like multiple yellow colored dogs that live in the same household. They can be together. But
Okay.
if it's just a single yellow colored dog, they can't interact with any other dogs. A lot of times they'll like run up along the fences, bark at the other dogs in the yards instead of like doing their own shit. And it's like, why are you like, what the fuck? What's wrong with
Well, it's
you?
probably because they want to try and socialize, but y'all fuckers are segregating them.
Well, here's the thing. We've got reasons for,
Well, I mean, yeah, one of them's a sister humper, so
another one almost killed another dog in another place, from what I've heard. Isn't that one's called
what?
Samson? And the owners are always like pissed. They're like, "Oh, why is he being separated from the other?" It's like because he tries to fucking murder him. That's why.
Yeah, he has no concept of
Maybe I
play.
don't know.
I'm sorry,
Maybe
you
a
need to
habit.
let my dog model other dogs. That's what I do.
Yeah, he fucking every time there's another dog walking across to us at the
It's like I don't know. Maybe do better with your fucking dogs.
Jesus
Don't just like
Christ.
do nothing with them. Oh my god. So okay, another thing. What I mainly do, right? I work alongside my dad. I job shadow him essentially. Whatever he does, I'm doing at the same time. So what we mainly do is we'll install or maintain underground pet fences. So it's used for like shock collars. So we'll trench a wire in, maybe 2
Oh,
or 3
okay. I was
meters
like
that are like
underground. What, like bunkers?
it's
No, like under someone's yard. Fucking dumbass.
but so okay. It's it's fucking annoying sometimes because not annoying, but it's like sometimes you'll do a service call, right? So it'll be like fences beeping. It's like, okay, incredibly vague. Thank you. But
Oh my
typically that'll
god.
mean
I
I'm sorry, you wanted details for the problem?
No,
that you
I
need
no,
to fix?
I can relate to this. Fucking garage doors. The only thing we get from customers sometimes when they have problems is door won't open. Which, if you're
it's like
familiar with any kind of construction of anything, could be anything from like a cable's broken or like the door itself is on the ground and like we need to get a new fucking door because
the
the
door
door
is
is on
gone.
the ground. Yeah, like because we've been like, oh, the door won't open, and like they've left the lock on because there's
That's
slide locks. This customers, man, they fucking they're like, oh, the door won't open, and we get there and we're like, you didn't unlock it, and they're like, what? And like, of course they have to know that their door has a lock on it.
I would think.
I
Like,
would not put. I don't assume that. Don't assume that at all.
that's fair. Anyway, but it's like it's just like a little piece of metal on a spring that's covered attached to the door. Like it's bolted to the door on the inside and it goes through a small hole on the track that the door runs on. Pretty simple. Really really simple stuff. Uh but we used to put them on doors with certain openers because people want the extra security, like they ask for it. And we have stopped doing it because people forget and then try to open it normally, like with the opener, and fuck up the track, the door, the lock, like the rail that the opener runs on, because everything that comes into contact with the amount of torque it needs to pull to rip up its own track off the wall is too much for any opener that's not a like a heavy commercial one. And that's always fun. We got a couple of those. I've been to one and I'm like, how? Like, dude.
Like, how the fuck did you do this? Like, how did you even manage to do this?
And there's some of those. Because, some of it's just like, oh, the cable broke. And, like, the customer can't always know. Like, because they're calling us. Like Jordan said, we're the experts.
Mm-hmm.
They can't always know. But, you should, like, there's broken springs, there's a busted opener. It's like, you could at least take 5 minutes to look.
Or at
right?
least like hear a fucked up noise and be like, that sounded suboptimal. Maybe I should check that shit out.
Yeah, and then there's some people that like it breaks and then they keep using it. Like we've gone to companies like that supply that like they have these doors like commercial doors, and like the amount of times we've had to go back to places because they keep on fucking with it. Shameful. It is downright shameful.
My
Because
faith
it's
in
like
the human intelligence, just hearing even that, like, my job is nothing to sneeze at, but hearing other people, like yours and Howa's experience on two separate fields,
yeah.
but still, like, people are just dumb.
Oh yeah. Well,
Like,
it extends beyond that because McDonald's is full of them.
100%. And so is the grocery stores
McDonald's.
that
It's
you, me, and Nick
founded.
have worked at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking oh my god. I gotta link this into McDonald's when we're talking about stupid customers. Is this stupid customer service? Is that what we call this one? I'm down to name it that.
That could work.
Yeah,
On-
sure.
on-
Don't give
I
us
got
the-
I got fucking
don't give us the sort of-
stories then.
Until
Like,
until we got a better
I've got
title.
some fucking. I
But
got some
fucking-
shit.
At McDonald's, I've told this story a couple times. I'm not sure if all of you have heard it though, but so this lady got a wrap. She and her family were just hanging out and she got a wrap. So she comes back and is like, "Oh, they had the wrong sauce on the wrap." And I was like, "Okay, can I see it?" And she holds it up and it's like the folded tortilla at the bottom of the wrap with like 5 pieces of lettuce in it. It wasn't the wrap. It was the end of the wrap. And I'm like, I can't get you a new one. And she was like, well, why not? And I was like, you've eaten the whole thing. I'm not giving you a second wrap because you don't want to pay for it. You would have noticed the sauce is gone on bite 2.
oh my god.
Deadass walks back with like the dregs of a wrap and is like, can I get another one? The sauce was wrong. And I was like, are you...
I mean, you can pay for it.
It's like, yeah, you can get another one. And of course, you come back and there's a bite taken out of a sandwich, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get a new one. Because, like, if it's a bite or two, you've noticed by then, and you fix it.
You can't expect people to inspect it before.
Yeah, exactly.
right?
I always do because I have no faith in McDonald's waffles.
Honestly,
but-
honestly, fair. The other half of my people are stupid is the workers. Because, like, God, even the people I worked with were just not the salt, like, oh my God, not the salt of the earth, not fucking anything. Because it was like, you could tell them something, and they'd just be like, yeah, and then they do it wrong. And I was always
Yeah.
like, I always wanted to play, like, the advocate for my own coworkers, and eventually my own subordinates when I got promoted. But, like, holy shit, dude. Sometimes they're just wrong. Like, sometimes it's just like, yeah, that was them. Sorry. And that's all you got. And it's just, oh my God, it's heartbreaking. Because, like, you expect more from them. And a lot of them were really good. Especially at my McDonald's. I liked a lot of them. And it was just fucking, the workers were stupid. And we're next to a mall, like one of the 2 popular malls in the city. So you'd better believe there's a bunch of bullshit going on there. Like an erroneous amount of bullshit. It's just like there's
Yeah,
crackheads.
undoubtedly.
This is a university town.
Oh yeah.
So like you get university kids on big parties, you get drunk people on big parties.
You get me.
You get Jordan. Yeah, Jordan actually came into my McDonald's one time before I even knew him, and he was fucking around.
Yeah.
Speaking of dumb people out of McDonald's, there's something I did in grade 9 when, on the football team, in which I convinced my team to come into the play place with me. I was like, we always have dinner before game days, the night before. It's the tradition. Well, I'm almost certain everybody does it. So we went to McDonald's for ice cream after because nobody wanted to pay at like the Kelsey's we were at or whatever. So we go across the street and we go to the McDonald's, and we're all in line for this ice cream. And I like turn to a couple of them. I'm like, "You guys want to go in the play place?" And they all looked at
Oh,
like
no.
they gave me the look. Like a couple of them didn't quite hear me and gave me the what, but nobody gave me the like, "Are you retarded? We can't do that." They all gave me the oh yeah. They're like every single like
Hell yeah.
unanimously they were like, yeah. So we get in there and like poetic. It's completely poetic how this happens. I go down the slide. I come out the end of the slide. And there's a worker waiting there. Like and she's like, "You guys have to get out." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, You're above the age limit. Get out. You either get out of the play place or you leave the restaurant." And we were like, "Okay, we'll get out."
Oh.
That worker, the person that trained me after I got hired.
Hell
Woof.
This was about 3 years later, and I'm almost certain they did not recognize me. But same person, and that was. I think that's my best McDonald's story is how I was a piece of shit teenager and I got hired and trained by the person who had to deal with me when I was a piece of shit teenager.
Yikes. I'm almost certain if that's the one that if the one I'm thinking of is the one that you worked at, I'm pretty sure like a high school ex of mine worked there, and I was in like the drive-through.
Oh
And I
god.
recognized them, and I was like, I gotta go before they recognize me.
I still recognize people from that McDonald's, by the way. Like there are still people that work there or work at other McDonald's owned by the same person, like other
Oh, yeah.
franchised
move them around.
McDonald's, exactly, because they'll move them around, or like the people will move around depending on where they live, or blah blah blah. And very very funny that I still see some of them, and I'm like, "Yo, how's it going?" And they're like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And it's always like I don't want to say it to them because none of them deserve it. A lot of them are like salt of the earth, like they're working there or they're doing like something else, and this is like what they're doing in the interim. Or they're like actually high up in a position there, not like a minimum wage weekend worker like you would be in high school.
Right.
But it's like it gives me that you still working here? Like I said, I never said it to them because I'm always like I don't want to do that. Like I worked there for 6 years, like far beyond my high school years, and I wasn't in college, and that was me, and I don't want everyone. I have to thank Nick actually because we did like a tabletop game that wasn't D&D, and he was like, "Oh, this takes 5 years in the future." And he like blah blah blahs whatever he knew of people's plans for the future he gave them because it was like our world but like vampires. I think Nick knows what
it
he
was
said.
a Vampire the Masquerade
Yeah.
game, and I wanted to just be like, hey, all of you get turned into vampires one night, and you wake up, and you're vampires now.
It was a really
But I
cool
want to put it in
campaign.
the future for plot reasons.
Yeah, he just put it in because it made more sense to put it in a little bit of a far future. And also definitely an idea we're gonna do to record because that was fun. I really
Yeah, I
liked the
can do that.
story. It was quick. It was easy to understand. Blah blah blah. What Nick said was it's 5 years in the future. Everyone's doing this, this, and this. Brennan's still at McDonald's, and I was
I
like,
did.
"Ow!"
I
Like-
did take the opportunity to explicitly roast a couple of us.
And like, I have
That
to
was
thank you
fun.
because it was exactly that I was like, "Oh, I gotta fucking do something."
Yikes.
I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Vampire the Masquerade has a very common theming of it's our world, but darker. It's our world, but worse. So you still being a McDonald's is a great example of that.
Yeah, but thank you
Normally
for
it manifests as like evil monsters and bloodthirst and whores, but also just like terrible dead end jobs.
yeah 11. I could not 11 years at a McDonald's. That McDonald's
It would be
especially.
11. Oh, that's
It would have been 10 or 11 by the time when we were doing that campaign.
yeah.
There was a woman there who'd been there for 30 years.
Oof.
You want to know what they did for her
Hmm.
30 year? Oh,
Nothing.
they just took her. It's not nothing. It was something, which is I guess something, but they just took her out to dinner.
At McDonald's.
No, not at McDonald's. She got to pick, but like,
Oh,
Ugh.
but like,
What a
that's
kick in the pants. What like a backhanded like celebration, you know? Like
yeah,
been here for 30 years, but here is McDonald's.
yeah. Here's like the Subway you wanted.
feels like 20%, maybe more than minimum wage for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was like
I assume you
Well,
don't make that much more money when you stay at
by
McDonald's for
that
much time.
standard, every year for the pay bump would have been like, oh yeah, cool, I get a pay bump, and then minimum wage would be on par with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
No. Minimum wage is never on par with pay bumps. It hasn't once been.
Well,
Pay bumps
my
are
old
also
man used
not
to work
big.
at Walmart. My old man used to work at Walmart, and he said that that's what they did over there. Anyway, back when Walmart was like cool to work
And that
at.
must be a good Walmart a long time ago, because
Uh-huh.
minimum wage
Yeah.
doesn't increase all that much, and the inflation is definitely the. Listen, if you don't get a raise, here's the honest truth: if your wage doesn't increase by exactly inflation, you'll get a pay cut.
Yeah,
And if it increases by exactly inflation, you've got no additional funds.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the whole
it's
reason
rough.
why my little sister works with me now. Because Walmart sucks.
I am gonna call this episode "Customer Disservice." That's a better name.
Customer
That
disservice.
is.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
yeah. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with many customers now. Like I still deal with them, and sometimes, like, Howard, do you ever get this? They like watch you when you're on the site.
Like customers.
Yes.
Just sort of stare
Like
at
yeah,
you.
yeah. The client you're
I
doing
don't
the
know
work
why I said
for,
that with a Western
like
accent.
like they just stand there and just watch
Well,
you.
what else are they gonna do?
I mean, at my current workplace, no. I used to work at a gas station though. That was fucking miserable. Most suicidal I've ever been. Uh,
Oh yeah,
you would
that's a
pretty-
realm we haven't touched yet. Bring on the gas station stories.
Ooh, gas
you
station
meet some
stories
pretty
are
odd
always
characters.
something.
I think the fact that I didn't know it, but I lived in the same town as it. Apparently, the town that I lived in and worked at the gas station in is like one of the most popular fucking tourist towns in Minnesota. So I'm like,
So it's
yeah, that
like
shit
London
sucks.
for every other state, for all the
Well,
other
a
people
little
in this
bit,
call.
but you get you mostly get rednecks, and then once in a while you get city slickers, and it's like, fucking go away, nobody wants you here. And like,
Jesus.
you don't understand though. They just have no concept of like
Yeah.
what to do or how to act, or to maybe just not be a shitter.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, the other two boys live in the north side. I live in the south side. So yeah, when north side Londoners come down to my ends, I totally get that.
Dude,
They're like, huh.
I worked in the North End, and whenever anybody around the area came in, I was like that too.
You also work
It's
in
universal.
the south end.
Yeah, I mean, I work in the South End now, but like when I worked in the North End at McDonald's, oh my god, the entitlement. It's entitled. They're just
Yeah.
all stupid. I hate them. And I feel like that's
the
exactly what Howe was going after.
so there was one guy, right? Fucking classic, like hick. Not hick really, but like classic backwoods, white haired, bald head,
Oh yeah.
father of like 4 kids or some shit. They're all
Jesus.
relatively young. Maybe one of them was old enough to maybe start being sentient, but for the most part, it was like whatever. So he comes in, right? And they noticed him like drop off some trash at the back at the dumpster, which you're allowed to do if you pay for it.
I was
And
gonna
you
say,
know,
you're
put it in
allowed.
the
Like, are
dumpster.
you allowed to do that? Because
Yeah,
I would never think about that. I wouldn't
we
even
tell
like.
him, he tries saying, he's like, no, you guys have a deal where if you buy gas, you get a free garbage dump.
Oh,
And go to my manager, and she's like, yeah, we've never even done.
I
that."
love when customers are like, "Oh, but you
she
do
spends-
this, or you did this last time, or used to do this," and I'm like, "No."
It's like, no. I'm like, I haven't worked here for very long, so let me go get my manager. But even in my head, I'm like, that don't seem right. But she, okay, so she starts helping him out, right? Not helping him out, but like trying to talk with him and figure shit out. And he's like super fucking pissed that he's not getting to dump his trash for free.
Of
So
course
he's
he
like
is.
fucking pissed off, digging through his wallet. He's like, I'm not paying for the trash. And she's like, I don't remember what she said, but it's like, motherfucker, you've got like 3 or 4 kids. I don't remember how many. We'll say 3. It's like, motherfucker, you've got 3 kids here with you, and you're gonna act like a piece of shit in a gas station? Really?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's the kind of impression you want to
yeah,
have?
yeah. Give them that learned behavior, dickhead.
But like, oh fuck, what else?
Father of the year. Holy shit.
There was
Oh, there's no version of reality where he doesn't do that in private as well.
one time I was working the register.
That guy's not happy to
Um,
have 4 kids. I'm gonna put
there
that one
was-
down right now.
It was kind of a busy morning, and the phone starts ringing, and I'm like, I'm like the only person behind the register, right? We were understaffed at the time. They're still understaffed as shit, as far as I'm aware. And like, there were some days where it'd be like 2 of us manning the whole store. It's like,
How big of a gas station is it?
not a huge one, but
Does
not.
it
small
matter?
enough
Have you
to
ever
be
seen more than
properly
2
managed.
people operating a gas
Oh,
station?
well, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, I have never seen more than. There's 3, but that's on shift change, and someone came in early or has to stay late.
There is a gas station that's really close to my house that's
Oh, is it-
also got
Oh, is
a
it the big
restaurant
one?
in it and like a convenient it's a little bit of a bigger gas station and it's got a restaurant in it. So that one has like 4 people in it, but like 2 per section.
This was just like the only thing close to like a separate section that we could maybe say was like an area where you could buy minnows and other kinds of bait. But even then, we took care of that shit. But like, motherfucker, we can't operate with only 2 people. We can hardly operate with just 3 or 4.
That's
Because
really
there's so
interesting.
much shit you have to do in a gas station. You need to sanitize shit. You need to put out food. You need to help with customers. Sometimes there will be a bunch of people coming in, and you got to have more than one person at the register. There's one day where I'm working at the register, and the phone starts ringing. Nobody else is there to help me and to like pick it up. So I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to, because they train me a little bit. I'm like, okay, I don't want to make my fucking manager mad and not pick up the phone, so I'll pick it up. So I pick it up and I'm like, hi, this is yada yada yada. This is my name at this gas station. How can I help you? And the guy's like, this is the yada yada county sheriff. I'm like, fuck!
Oh no! Oh no!
And I'm like, all right. Yeah, hi, how can I help you? What's up? And he's like, we've got reports of a missing person that might have gone through that area. I'm like, gotcha. And this whole time I'm trying to like help
I
with
was
customers.
shitting his pants. Like
And I'm like,
there is poo poo in his jeans.
like turd rolling down my fucking leg.
Doo-doo.
It's just like not a good situation.
Butthole
I wasn't in
clenched.
trouble or anything, but it's like
I mean,
my
but
manager
when
comes by later,
but
she's
when
like,
you
"I
when
can
you
take
pick up
that."
the phone and it's like, hi, this is like the chief of police of your local area, and you're like, oh!
Not even
That's
the local
literally
area,
never
the
a good
county.
thing.
The
There's
county.
no version of reality where you want the chief of police to call you. Never.
After the phone call was over, like my manager took over, got it all settled. She's like, "You need to not take phone calls when you're helping people register." I'm like, "What the fuck was I supposed to do? It was the sheriff."
Yeah, the phone was ringing. There's a missing person here. Like this is they were trying to find a human being.
Yeah,
They weren't there.
obviously you let them stay
They
missing.
think I was
You
just
need to
calling
make
my
sure the
aunt.
gas station makes a little bit more money, and if you have to sacrifice that person by tying them up to the altar in the basement and putting the knife on their throat, well then that's what you do.
Yeah,
is what
I
it
mean,
is.
I'd do that for $5. I've done that before, but like when the
Corporate
sheriff
America,
calls, you gotta
dude.
you gotta rein it in a little bit.
There was
Yeah.
another guy who came in spent like $500 or maybe more on just lottery tickets, right?
What?
Oh, that's
Like scratch off tickets.
interesting.
I mean, I'd love to
Like
say that that's
$50
not
a
normal,
piece.
but that's totally normal.
$50 a piece.
And it's just, and
It
it's
always
And I'm
happens when
like,
I'm like in a rush to get to work.
yeah, and you just
it's
need
like
like
this
$5
super
on
fucking old guy.
on like on pump one, and somebody's in there
Yeah.
buying 50 lottery tickets.
He
Like,
won
come
like maybe
on.
$100, so like lost $400. And I was feeling kind of bad because it was like the super old guy. So I was like, he's got a gambling addiction, and it was probably right. But at the same time, I didn't feel that bad because he rolled up in like this super new looking fucking Mustang. It's like, he got that retirement bread.
Yeah, he's doing it because there's nothing else that gives him thrills these days.
I want to gamble away all my money so my children can't have it when I die.
As someone who has played Magic the Gathering and has definitely bought packs just to
Yeah.
open them, just to feel that,
Yeah.
it's not an inhuman response.
It's definitely not uncommon, especially for Cardboard Crack, but at least we can do something with the Magic cards, Nick. Even if we don't use them, we could. But that guy just threw it away to scratch off a chance at more money.
No, I understand that. Yeah,
Got upset about it too. That was the other thing. It's like he wasn't fucking phased by it even. He was just like, that's a shame. Well, all right, well, whatever. See ya. Have a good day. I'm like, you too.
Okay, so he was literally just coming in for that feeling.
Just, I guess. I don't know. I don't psychoanalyze people. I was a
Dog.
gas station clerk. I didn't give a fuck.
I psychoanalyze people at McDonald's. It was
I
fun.
psychoanalyze people all the time.
Oh yeah, speaking of
Although I do-
psychoanalysis, and it's
I
not
do come to
customers,
the
but
conclusion that
Jordan and I
they're
working at a warehouse for the
Oh.
local for the governmental liquor store.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
no
On that
weird,
note-
no weird
province.
customers, but
On
the
that note,
workers.
I gotta feed my dog, so give me like
Yeah, you can just
3
mute yourself.
Yeah.
Did you say 30 minutes?
no, like 3 minutes.
Okay,
Jesus.
I thought you said 30. I was like, what fucking kind of
Oh.
dog you feeding? You got to go
Fucking
back to work and
super.
feed all the dogs
gotta
over
get
there?
the ribeye cut.
I gotta go out back and fucking hunt an animal to feed my dog.
Yeah, that's what you train the dog to hunt and kill other dogs. That was the
I
point,
gotta
right?
fucking wrestle the dog's jaws open to prevent it
Fucking
from
Stuff it
biting
in
my
there.
fucking arm off.
He eats bones whole. All right, go feed your dog. We'll keep it going.
All right.
All right, Spot, kill.
Yeah. Get him!
Did
So,
you know
yeah.
that
a bear.
Did you know that if you take you may be familiar with the mythical creature known as Solbois, the three-headed dog
Yes.
that holds the gates to the underworld? You may or may not know that if you properly translate Solbois into English,
is it
it
this?
actually means spot.
It means Spot. Yeah, Hades named his dog Spot.
Nice.
That's fucking. You know what? I like that.
Great.
That put a smile on my
Spot on.
face.
That's some like wholesome Greek mythos lore.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
There's
that's
so
so cute.
little
Most
wholesome Greek
depressing
myth lore.
realms.
Yeah.
of
There's
all.
so little of it that this impresses us.
That's why people really like the Hades Persephone
It's the
like
most.
relationship.
It's the most
They like
wholesome.
they go and ignore the non-wholesome parts about it because otherwise it's
Well-
got the most legs to stand on as an actually wholesome relationship.
But I mean, like, yeah, in the mythos, everything but the pomegranate was like Zeus's fault explicitly. Zeus was like,
Yes,
"Here, have
very
this,"
much so.
and it's like the only part that Hades did that shady was like, "I'm worried you're not gonna come back. You eat these, and they bind you here for part of the year," which is a bit of a dick move.
Well, like I said, there's still a lot of things wrong with the story and a lot of things wrong with the relationship. But you'll note that so many stories are so much worse.
Yeah, everything else, namely
Hades-
every other
all
story.
Of Hades story. All of Hades' stories seem like they're grounded in reality in a sense. Like you as a everyman can kind of relate. Like, oh man,
Well,
this guy's going
you want to know what's interesting is a lot of the deities from ancient Greece came from like the Mycenaean period before the Dark Age,
Mhm.
except for Hades. Hades was not in it. Poseidon
Ah,
was the big king god and the king of earthquakes and the underworld.
jeez.
It was really interesting. So Hades being a later addition for whatever reason might be that reason. Because he wasn't designed to be this giant, larger than life god. He
Well,
was though. He was, but
as much as a little Greek god.
yeah, exactly. But it's different. He's just a guy doing a job rather than like
Yeah.
somebody
Like
who gets involved with all these problems.
he's not even in charge of like the death of people or bringing them to his realm. He's
Yeah.
Well,
just in
he has
charge
a
of
guy for that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes.
Thanatos. Yeah.
He's just kind of the guy.
He's just the
That-
person who
that's
owns
true,
where they
but
live.
it's sort of misleading, right? Like,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
only the
Thanatos
god
is
of
the
the
god of the
underworld.
process of dying, but like Thanatos works for Hades. It's not. It's like
Exactly.
Sure, but it's not in the same vein where like Mount Olympus and all of those gods are all under Zeus. It's not like Hades controls a plethora of very powerful beings. He's just kind of a dude who owns the land who has a guy who works for him.
Yeah, it's like Thanatos is a rancher,
Yeah,
like a ranch
essentially.
hand.
And
He's like,
that's
all right,
why the Grim Reaper has a scythe.
yeah, yeah,
Well, also why it's just called the Grim Reaper.
because
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. We get you, Nick. I do want to right before we're getting into the end here, but I do want to bring it back to what I was gonna say about psychoanalyzing our coworkers at the LCBO. I can no
Oh,
longer.
yeah.
I mean, like we know where we live. It's in Ontario. It's the local provincial liquor store. So we worked temp nights at a warehouse, a distribution center for this
That's where we
for this
met and
brand.
fell in love.
It is where, and it was all because I psychoanalyzed someone as a pick me and needed anyone to be like, yeah, give me a read on this, and he happened to be the person who was hired with me a few days earlier, and the third guy that we were hired with was there for one night and then was not. And
Yeah.
I think the first thing I said to Jordan was, "Hey, that person over there, total pick me, right?" And he was like, "Yes." and that's how I met
And
him.
now they're married with
The
two children.
company if I said no.
Yeah, it would
Alright,
it was just a few years later where I'm explaining how I met Jordan. And then I think after that it was like, "Oh, do you play
Favorite
video
sitcom.
games?"
Yeah.
It was either that or like it was either Destiny or Stardew Valley. But I think it was just, "Do you play video games?"
I think it was like I was like, oh yeah, I play all sorts of stuff. Like I think I was playing like Red Dead at the time or something. I was like, I really like Red Dead 2. Like shit's going crazy. And then you brought up like Destiny or something. I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
because
you play Destiny?
because I was on Destiny hard when we
I
when
was
we
like,
were
I've been
working
looking
there.
for people to play Destiny with, bro.
And I was like, "Yo, I got this group, like we play, but like we're physically incapable, I think, now of doing raids in any capacity."
I was like, oh, I used to do raids all the time, bro. Like, let's go, let's get it on there. And then we made an attempt twice.
Yeah, we made an attempt. No, 3 times. One time
Oh yeah.
just didn't work. The next time it worked, but then people started leaving and couldn't come back. And the third and fourth time was also people left and couldn't come back, which was just so much fun. Not that it really matters. Eventually, we'll probably do it for content, and that'll motivate people to fucking pay attention. But
You say that, but
you know what? Fair, Nick. That's fair. So yeah, that was how I met Jordan, and we psychoanalyzed a lot of
that's
people.
how I met your mother.
There was one guy, Austin, that, oh my god,
That was a fun case.
how to best describe him? Like a male pick me, but a compulsive liar. I know a lot of pick me's are liars, but like everything this guy said was like, there's a mini game inside Stardew Valley, for instance, like an old style arcade game that's like just fucking difficult. It's a difficult game. And there's an achievement to do it without getting hit. You know, because it's difficult. It's like the biggest challenge in the game, because it has nothing to do with the rest of the game. And I was working on 100%ing Stardew Valley at the time, so I was talking to Jordan about it, and he was in the conversation a little bit, kind of. We didn't want him, but he was there.
Of course.
And I was talking about it, and Jordan was like, "Oh, fucking that thing," because he'd played a bit of Stardew Valley, but not too much by that point. And Austin was like, "Oh yeah, I did that achievement first try, and it wasn't that hard."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like one of those kind of people.
And I was like,
Whoa.
I gave him a, "Oh, dude, that's sick," but like, there's
you
no
remember
way.
when- do you remember when we were like talking about like we were in our very like existential kind of conversations
Oh
that
yeah,
we usually had,
we had a couple of
and
those. That's just night
and
shift.
this guy pipes up and says, "Hot take, nothing exists," and he's like, and Brennan's like, "Yeah, bro, Plato came up with that."
Yeah, that's like, yeah, like he's the oldest hot take in all of philosophy. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
we were
even a
on our
hot take.
philosophical, like existential shit. He's like, "Oh, unpopular
Established
opinion,
take.
nothing exists."
Like, the simulation theory has been a thing, dog. And bro is just like, hot take, nothing is real. And I'm like, yeah, that's been said.
Yep.
There's a reason
Plato
nobody
came up
listens
with
to
that.
Plato anymore.
According to my 4th grade teacher, 100 years ago, he came up with that.
Plato said, Plato came up with the world of forms 100 years ago. While the
Well,
pioneers
100
were.
years ago is when Plato got out of the cave.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
when he started building America by hand.
Yeah, actually, you know what? No, Plato came up with that last week, so
Yeah,
'cause
no,
the
bro.
world is
Like,
a month
and
old.
he said it with like his whole chest. Like,
Yeah,
dog
there
was
was
like,
no cynicism right there. Like there was no like joking or whatever. He was just like, actually.
he was like, "Oh, I got this." Like, he wanted to join the conversation and said that with like his whole physical being. And I just hit him with the, "Yeah, that's old. That's fucking as old as
Oh, man.
philosophy is, dog."
There were a bunch of random cases. Did I tell you that I saw Corey at my store?
Oh yeah, you did.
Boys in the house?
The
What's
boys.
Boy doing in
Yeah.
the house?
Yeah, he did like a double take. I'm pretty sure it was that very same day that the
God,
baby shit
fucking
went down.
everything
It could've-
happening on that day.
It could have been different because I had seen like, my uncle and aunt the same day.
Oh, okay. You had a lot of shit going on that
like-
day.
There was a bunch of stuff that went on that week, and I can't remember if it all what days or what. Ugh, the world sucks.
Oh man. What other? Oh yeah, Daytona. That was a case. That guy
Oh, yeah,
was
you brought that up earlier today.
yeah the angriest. Like he
Most entitled
he
because
was
his mom worked there and was like a union rep.
angry,
or, like, a
entitled,
stew.
thought like everything was like for him, had to be for him. If something didn't happen that he didn't like, he was always like at everybody. He almost cleaved my calf off with a skid of wood.
Ooh, nice.
Like he just full on dropped it like an inch from my leg behind me while I was talking to Jordan across the lane. And then he also said some snark shit that I didn't pay attention to, but just him dropping it, almost cleaving my leg open, I almost just fucking whirled and punched him. Like I almost just did the full 180 and knocked his fucking head off. I think that was the first time Jordan saw me get like upset at something. Well, like, justifiably so, because that's a
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
who
yeah, it
does
was,
that?
like-
like I heard it clang behind me or like smack behind me, and he like saw the change in my face.
He realized he had made a mistake.
Not Daytona. Daytona just fucked off, and I was like, good. If he was any closer to my leg, or stuck around and was being a dick, I would have hit him. Dude's gonna
And then we
be
found
in
out
the branch of an artillery in the army.
Yeah, then we found out he was going to the army, and then like months
That
later,
tracks. Oh boy, does
like-
that track.
Funniest shit I
Yeah.
ever heard.
And then I brought something up like later, like after that whole like Russia Ukraine debacle.
oh my god.
Bro signed up for the military and now has to go fight a world war.
That was the best joke. Like literally 2 months after we knew him, fucking Ukraine and Russia started going head to head, and we were like,
Don't
"Dog,
worry.
do you think he
That
regrets
part of
that
the war
decision?"
hasn't started yet. I don't think America has troops. Actually, doesn't it? I don't think they have troops on the
No,
ground.
resources. It's resources. There's troops on the ground in Poland because they're NATO aligned, like they're in
Mhm.
NATO, but Ukraine wasn't allowed to join. Yeah, so this kid, oh my fucking god, he was fucking with a box cutter.
Oh, good, genius,
Oh, not like
classic, good idea.
it was like the yellow one. That's like safety.
Yeah, it's like it's a
It's like the
yellow like
safety
hook
knife.
device. Which makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, I've got
because
one
we were
over
cutting
here.
with
Yeah, I've got one in my house too, but it's for box cutters, so like you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, no,
Essentially.
I'm holding one in my hand, and it's got this neat little lock function, but it
Really?
also
No,
has the ability to
there was no
extend a
knife
blade
on it.
that's like an inch and a half long.
No, there was no like razor on it. It was like a hook device that had a little beveled piece of metal on the inside of the hook.
Oh, I also
So-
have one of those. That's not.
Yeah, and
I
it
do
and,
have a
and,
much
and it's
more
got like the
comprehensive
bottom
knife.
that's just like a sharp piece of plastic.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, he was just fucking with one of those at like the end of a shift, and I was like, just because I had nothing else to do, and like their group of friends were like talking around Jordan and I, and Jordan and I were just like, we want to go home, stop talking around us, because a couple of them were there, and then they all showed up, and we were like, oh fucking whatever, dude. So I was like, oh, is that like your weapon of choice? Like this is some zombie apocalypse type shit? And he's like, no, it's a diamond sword from Minecraft. And I just
What?
like,
So what?
I asked him if the box cutter was like his weapon of choice because we were talking about something related to that.
And he goes
And he
ahead
was
and says,
like, no, my weapon of choice is a diamond sword from like Minecraft. And I was like,
Cool.
and I tell you, the immediate eye contact Brennan and I made after that was
like instantly, like I looked right at like Jordan was like behind him or something, like on the other side of
We
the
had a whole-
line. I just like stared at him with like the
a whole
most
conversation with our eyes alone that said this kid is fucking stupid.
yeah. And he wasn't being ironic, or if he was bad at it. But like, oh my god, I am
Be like that, you know.
some of these people, and I just told Hal not to tell people names, and we just like fucking I just said their names with my whole chest. You know what? Those two can come at me. I'll just take away Austin's Tiger Bomb. He'll fucking crumple like a
You can
wet
also
paper towel.
not that you can also, if you feel like it, censor their names in post. But...
Yeah, I'm not. I have a week.
It's whatever.
I have
These
about a
people
week
won't
to do
ever
it,
watch
but, like-
here's the thing. I know multiple Austins, so like
I know multiple Austins too.
I don't think just false names is gonna be that big an issue.
Oh, and I mean, if the person like was to notice, they would know if it's them or not because I just made the Tiger Bomb comment. And how many people are named after a racetrack? That's a dig at Daytona, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
For the other two that did not laugh at my shitty joke.
I'm not very familiar with what it's called.
It's the
track.
like the Daytona 500 stuff. It's like it's a NASCAR thing.
The only thing I
It's a
know
very
is
white
I was
trash.
watching a compilation of James May being mad at the Newtonborg. Newtonborg, is that how you say it? Probably not. The Gelman one.
Nuremberg?
Newman? I don't know. Probably.
I don't know the name.
It's a racetrack in Germany that a lot of car companies were like, we built our car to be good on this one racetrack, but that doesn't make them no good for
Anywhere
roads.
else. Yeah. Literally anywhere else.
But you can buy it to drive on the street.
It's good on this
There you
one
go.
racetrack. We swear.
To get the full potential.
Yeah, go to this racetrack with your car.
we've optimized this vehicle to run perfectly on this one extremely specific patch of dirt in a country that you're not in.
Yeah, and on a continent that you're not in.
It's like the fucking Bugatti.
Like-
It can reach its full potential at the LAX airstrip, but like that's it.
yeah. Only with an LAX airstrip worth of space can it reach its full potential.
And the only reason it reaches and the way it reaches its full potential is when all 4 tires explode.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what? Yeah, and also like the Tesla is optimal when it's briefly serving as a boat.
the
What?
Tesla is only optimal when like you're
Okay, so
100
Elon
yards
Musk
from a
tweeted
fucking
the other
plug
day
station.
that the Cybertruck, which is like his
Plug
truck
station.
design, is going to be waterproof enough that it can function briefly as a boat.
What?
Yeah, I've played enough like GTA
Yeah.
to know that if I'm in any subsequent water for a long time, I'm not getting out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We were talking about the pick me who lies all the time. That's just Elon Musk. He is incapable of telling you the truth.
That's a
Products
fucking good
companies
one.
create.
Hear that, Elon Musk?
Yeah, egg on Elon Musk's face.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
He's
for
gonna
Name
get
another
people
chip.
killed by having the Teslas go underwater and then light on fire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Christ.
Like those old cartoons where the robots go underwater and short circuit. Like I don't know if that checks.
Yeah,
Well, they already catch on fire. Now he wants to go underwater. What's gonna happen really is that he'll.
Earth,
I would say
fire,
that when they get
water,
flooded in the
air.
Hyperloop. So Elon Musk has so many bad ideas. I could write on Elon Musk balls.
Well, maybe that'll be next podcast because we are running out of time, and I do want to. I mean, that's a pretty good cliffhanger. Tune in next time to hear about what Nick has to say about Elon Musk.
Hey, Elon Musk, how do your cars fare against this magnet?
Oh man. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you all for joining us this time. Yeah, and tune in next episode where Nick single-handedly takes down Elon Musk personally in single combat.
Put
No
me in the ring with
Tesla.
Elon Musk. I can
No
take him.
Tesla is any match for C4.
True.
Nick will be equipped with whatever Howa gives him.
I've placed my first card, the IRA.
The iOS, I think, is what you meant.
Well,
No.
What was the IOA? What's the IOA stand for?
no,
Irish car bombers.
Oh, I thought iOS.
that's an even better joke.
That also works.
I thought he was
Elon
going for
Musk, How are you gonna
taxes.
fare against the IRS?
Oh man.
Alright, end this
Yeah.
before
Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Sorry about all the red tape that we're having to get through, but we'll get there. Have a good night.